All right, so in our last video, we looked at dividing a whole number by a fraction, but now we're going to see what happens when you flip it and you divide a fraction by a whole number. So for example, let's look at the problem 1/3 divided by 2. So we're going to look at how to solve this problem first using a model. So since I'm starting with a fraction 1/3, I'm going to draw a fraction bar. So I'm going to draw a whole fraction bar. And because this is 1/3, I'm going to split this into 3 pieces, or split it into thirds to represent the thirds that we see here. Now I'm dividing this by 2, so I'm going to split each one of these sections into 2 pieces. So I'm going to use a different color so that I can keep track easily. And I'm going to split each section into 2 pieces. Then, because my numerator is a 1, I care about this one piece right here. So I want to know how much this one piece is worth. Well, it is worth 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So 1/3 divided by 2 equals 1/6. Right? Let's look at the problem 1/2 divided by, let's do 4. 1/2 divided by 4. We're going to repeat that same process that I did up here, where because I'm starting with a fraction, I'm going to draw a fraction bar. So I have a fraction bar. And since this fraction is 1/2, I'm going to split it in half. Okay. Then, using my other color, I'm going to split each section based on my whole number. This whole number is a 4 for this problem, so I'm going to split each section into 4 pieces. So if you look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces here. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces in that section as well. To figure out the answer, I care about this one piece right here. So this is equal to 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. So 1/2 divided by 4 is equal to 1/8. We can look at a way to solve this without having to draw the models if we can think about connections we know between numbers. So up here, we had 1/3 divided by 2. Well, I know my multiplication facts, and if you know them also, you know that 3 times 2 gives us 6. So we can say that 3 times 2 will give us our 6 that we have in the denominator, and then we can bring our numerator over to make 1/6. Right? We can try the same thing with this problem and see if it works here as well. So we had 1/2 divided by 4. Right? We can bring our numerator over, so we have 1. And then 2 times 4 gives us 8, which is that same answer that we had here. So we can see kind of the connection between doing the model and then thinking about, patterns and connections you see in numbers. So let's look at another problem. And we're going to try to predict or guess what the answer might be before we solve it using a model. So let's look at 1/2. And this time we'll divide it by 3. So before I solve this problem using a model, I want to see if we can predict the answer. So we have 1/2 divided by 3. And if we think about it the same way we did here, we can bring our numerator over. And then to get our denominator, we can multiply 2 times 3 to get 6. So let's solve it and see if this prediction or guess is correct. So I'm going to draw a fraction bar. And because this fraction is 1/2, I'm going to split this entire model in half. Okay. Using my other color, I'm now going to divide the sections by my whole number, which is 3. So I'm going to split each section into thirds. So now I have 3 pieces here and 3 pieces there as well. And then looking at this whole number, I care about this one piece right here. And it is worth 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces altogether. So if you can pick up those connections between numbers, then it makes it a little bit easier to check your work to see if you are correct. So for example, if we tried this problem, 1/11 divided by 4, it would be really hard to draw a fraction bar and split it into 11th and then split it into fourths again. So we can use this process here, where we take our whole number and bring it over. Or not our whole number, excuse me, our numerator. We take our numerator and bring our numerator over. And then to get our denominator, we multiply our denominator times our whole number. So 11 times 4, and 11 times 4 gives us 44. Right? After you've watched this video and you've looked at these problems, then you can do your quiz in Mastery Connect. So once you open up Mastery Connect, you're going to be looking for the quiz that says dividing fractions by a whole number. And you'll see that it looks like this. This is what you're going to take. I do want to go ahead and look at number 6. When we made this number 6, we forgot to put the actual correct answer on there. So make sure for number 6 that you choose letter choice D. And as you're working, if you have any other questions for me, just reach out and let me know, and I will help any way that I can.